Less than 10 days ago, the Supreme Court directed the states and the centre to lay down an anti-lynching law. The Home Minister then passed the buck quite conveniently back to the state governments and said the state governments need to manage their law and order. The Prime Minister condemned all forms of lynching. Did it work? No, it didn't. Because today we have in front of us the most shocking case of lynching that we've ever heard in this country, that has been made horrifically worse by the behavior of the police, not just in dereliction of duty, but also perhaps in abetting murder. So here's what happened. On your screen is the photograph of 28-year-old Rakbar Khan. He's a dairy farmer. He needed to transport 3 cows. He called his friend Aslam and told him, "I need to transport 3 cows. Will you come with me?" In Aslam's reports and Aslam's testimony to some of the media, he has talked about how Muslims in Rajasthan who are dairy farmers are terrified of walking their cows in the day because they get robbed, they get assaulted, the police take bribes from them. So Rakbar Khan and Aslam decided that they were going to walk at night and they were going to use the Kacha Rasta so that they don't run into any trouble. They weren't so lucky though. Some villagers got a whiff of the fact that there was someone moving cows. They waylaid him, they thrashed him. Aslam managed to hide and then run away. He lost his way in the forest and the fields and only managed to walk back to his village at 10 a.m. the next morning. In the meantime, Rakbar was dead. The police arrived at the spot around 1:15 and Rakbar was there, alive, muddied and injured but alive. The police took him to the hospital. 3 hours later, the hospital was 6 kilometers from where they picked him up. Rakbar was dead when he arrived at the hospital. So what happened between being picked up by the police and arriving dead in the hospital? Here are some of the first-hand accounts that will tell you the real story.
21 तारीख को सुबह मेरे पास रात्रि को 3:12 पे फ़ोन आया था नवल मिश्रा का। तो उसने कहा कपूर जी हम और पुलिस गाय लेके जा रहे हैं, गाय पकड़ी हैं। तो गौशाला पे मैंने कहा आप गौशाला पहुंचो, मेरी बात करा देना कर्मचारी से। तो ये 3:26 पे गौशाला पे पहुंच गए और वहाँ मेरे कर्मचारी से बात कराई। तो इन्होंने 3:26 पे गौशाला पहुँच के गायों को छोड़ दिया।
That was Kapoor Chand Jain. Kapoor Chand Jain runs a Gaushala, a place where you take cows to be looked after. Now what Kapoor Chand Jain tells us is actually ridiculous. He says the police came in with the cows at a little past 3 o'clock. They took Rakbar Khan to the hospital after 4 o'clock. The police found it more important to make sure that the cows reached the shelter before Rakbar Khan reached the hospital. Their priorities are fairly clear. Take a look at this eyewitness account from this tea seller.
शासन जी, शनिवार की रात को कितने लोग आए थे चाय पीने के लिए पुलिस की गाड़ी के साथ?
10 का टाइम पे पुलिस की गाड़ी आई थी, चाय बना के मैंने घिसा दी और बारिश पड़ रही थी, मैं अपने वापसी यहाँ आ गया।
An eyewitness who tells us that the police took a break while transporting the dying man to the hospital to stop to have tea. So there's obviously a confusion here about what the police need to do when they pick up a victim here. Should they be driving him around, drinking tea, picking up cows, dropping off cows, or should they be taking him to the hospital? It gets worse. This is an eyewitness called Naval Kishore. Listen to him.
पुलिस ने पुलिस के गाड़ी का ड्राइविंग कर रहा था जो बंदा, उस बंदे ने मुझे लग रहा था जिस तरह से बिहेव कर रहा था कि हो सकता है कि उसने मुझे जैसा महसूस हुआ, मैंने उसको इसके चेक तो किया नहीं था कि वो शायद ड्रिंक करके था। उसने उसके साथ वो गंदी भद्दी गाली दे के उसके साथ मारपीट की। तो उनको कपड़े चेंज किए, कपड़े चेंज करके यहाँ उसके साथ खूब उसके साथ कम से कम 10, 20, 25 पट्टे भी दिए हैं, उसके साथ मारपीट भी की है।
That was an eyewitness who proves that Rakbar Khan may have actually died not due to the lynching, but because of the police. He could have survived that attack, pointing to the strong possibility that Rakbar was a custodial death It says very clearly that the way the police were behaving with him, I thought he was the accused and not the victim. The police, for some reason, decided that they were going to take him to the nearest village, make him take a shower, change his clothes, have a bath, because he was so muddied and so bloody that they thought he would dirty their police van. What happened when they finally took him to the doctor? Listen in.
उसको कितने शार्प टाइम क्या था जब लेकर के आए थे?
शार्प 4 बजे। अगर वो घटनास्थल से तुरंत यहाँ अगर ले आते तो शायद कुछ पॉसिबिलिटीज होती उसको बचाने की।
The doctor there telling us that had Akbar Khan been brought to the doctor immediately after the incident, he would have survived. But he was brought to the doctor dead. Was that the aim of the police? Were they trying to make sure that, unlike Pehlu Khan, Akbar Khan could not give a statement and hence would not have a dying declaration? There are enough people who say that he was walking and talking just fine when the police picked him up, and then suddenly he was dead. The police, in fact, had a press conference today where they said this was an error of judgment, obviously downplaying the issue, because this is a serious case of a death in custody.